Thank you. Good morning. Sorry. All right. Without objection, I'm going to lead the meeting today. And I'm going to call it to order at 9:03. And for the invocation, I'm going to say a prayer. If you'll pray with me. God, we come to you today. We are just thankful for all the blessings that you provide for us each and every day, God. We pray blessings over everybody in this courtroom today. We pray blessings through the holiday, God, as we celebrate the birth of your Son, Jesus Christ. And we thank you for all the promises that come with him. God, we pray that we honor you today through our actions and our words here in this courtroom today. We pray that we honor Burnet County and the state of Texas. God, just be with us, and we pray that we honor you. God, we love you, and we certainly can't live without you. Amen. Amen.
To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Yep. Okay, and we have called this meeting to order. It is the Thursday, December 19th, 2024 meeting in the upstairs courtroom. I'm going to open up public comment, and I'm going to start with, we are going to slow down just a tick. We're going to make sure we check all our boxes and do all the right things, so bear with us. Our sound system is having trouble. The wireless mics don't work. We do have these 3 microphones, so we are going to do our best to make sure that we take our time and pass them around so that people use them. And we know you folks are here, and then on YouTube want to hear. So we will do our best. In the event you can't hear, just raise your hand, okay? No need to yell or anything like that. So I'm going to open up public comment. Is there anybody from the public that wishes to make a comment? And you'll have 3 minutes.
Let me start off by saying good morning to everybody and Merry Christmas. I'm Eddie Arredondo. I'm a citizen in this county. And I think a lot of people are here upon hearing some news yesterday about James Oakley making resignation. And you're going to naturally have a lot of questions about what happens next. And I respect that, and I understand that, but this happened yesterday, and so it's not on the agenda for today. So it cannot be spoken about by the Commissioners Court. What I can tell you is that it will probably be on the next Commissioners Court meeting, which I believe is on the 3rd of January. That's when you can learn about what's going to happen next in selecting a new county judge. So with respect, please understand that because it's not on the agenda, a lot of the questions that you might have may not be able to be answered today. Okay, that's it.
Good morning. My name is Sharon Barkley. I'm a citizen and taxpayer of Burnet County. I've been regularly attending Commissioners Court's proceedings for the last 4 months. The first meeting I attended, I immediately recognized that there were severe issues related to public interaction and conduct of this court. I've witnessed a blatant attempt to suppress free speech. And what very much concerns me is the unconcealed disrespect by some on this court. While you may not have the option to verbally interact with citizens during open forum, your inattention, your expressions, and your actions of performing other tasks demonstrate your ongoing poor behavior. Your arrogance reflects fundamental misunderstanding of the role of citizen and public servants. The recent release of information by the State Commission of Judicial Conduct actually did not surprise me. This was another indictment of a lengthy list of habitual poor behavior by Mr. Oakley. From my service in the United States Marine Corps, I learned how to recognize cowards. The The facts surrounding this reprimand and other incidents that Mr. Oakley had been involved with indicate repeated bullying behavior. Bullies are cowards. These actions do not represent the characteristics that the citizens of Burnet County deserve from a person entrusted to this office. Commissioners, while you may not have been involved with this behavior, the citizens expect you to act in their best interest and not allow this ongoing behavior. You may feel that you may be committing political suicide by speaking out, and you may be. But standing up to this abuse is always the right thing to do. I commend Judge Whitehead in proceeding with this matter. That took courage, and I can only imagine the stress that she had to endure daily in this offense. I call on each of you to examine the defining characteristics of a public servant and return this court to the service of citizens of Burnet County with integrity and accountability. I hope blessings upon each of you as you perform this service, and thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Claire Nybro. I am a citizen of Burnet County, taxpayer, voter, interested person. I stand here today in support of Justice of the Peace, Lisa Whitehead, and all the other women in the employee of the county who were similarly affected. This was a terrible situation that was festered over a long period of time because it was perpetuated by the soon-to-be former county judge. And I want to say that brighter days are ahead. We are going to move forward with ethical and responsible leadership, and with proper and necessary civilian oversight, this court is going to once again operate under the rule of law, and the dignity and integrity of this court will be restored. And for this, I am immensely grateful for today, and I wanted to thank you for letting me make these remarks. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I have one for Vicenta. My name's Patty Cope, and I'm a Burnet County voter, taxpayer, interested person. Today, I am going to read into the record the public reprimand by the State Commission on Judicial Conduct affecting Judge James Oakley. The number is CJC, number 23-0518. Because of the fact that we are trying to move on and heal the problem, I'm just going to read the introduction and the conclusion. During its meeting on October 3rd, 2024, the State Commission on Judicial Conduct concluded a review of the allegations against the Honorable James Oakley, County Judge in Burnet County, Texas. Judge Oakley was advised by letter of the Commission's concerns and provided a written response. On December 3rd, 2024, Judge Oakley appeared before the Commission and gave testimony regarding this matter. A side note here is that Judge Oakley's testimony was sworn testimony. After considering the evidence before it, the Commission entered findings and conclusions. And the findings of fact, there are 28 findings. And under relevant standards and authorities, on page 4, there are 11 canons and standards of judicial conduct that Judge Oakley, after the Commission heard sworn testimony, they ruled that he violated these 11 canons and ethics. The conclusion is based upon the record before it, and the factual findings recited above. This Texas State Commission on Judicial Conduct has determined that the Honorable James Oakley, County Judge of Burnet County, Texas, should be publicly reprimanded for, 1, his failure to comply with law and maintain professional competence in the law regarding the court security for Judge Whitehead's courtroom. 2, his failure to be patient, dignified, and courteous when he sexually harassed Judge Whitehead and created a hostile work environment. And 3, his failure to perform his judicial duties without bias or prejudice and/or manifest bias or prejudice towards Judge Whitehead through his words and conduct, and his pattern of sexual harassment towards other women in Burnet County. So Judge Oakley was in office for 10 years. This complaint by Judge Whitehead was filed 26 months before the commission made the ruling. 26 months is an incredibly long time. Can I finish just reading in the conclusion? Can you vote if I can finish or not, please?
Hold on.
You need to take a vote if I can.
I'll move to extend the rules by 1 minute.
Second.
All those in favor, say aye. Aye.
Judge Oakley's failure in these respects constituted willful or persistent conduct that is clearly inconsistent with the proper performance of his duties and cast public discredit upon the judiciary or the administration of justices in violation of Canons 2A, 3B2, 3B4, 3B5, and 3B6 of the Texas Code of Judicial Conduct and Article 5, Section 1A, 6A of the Texas Constitution. The Commission has taken this action pursuant to the authority conferred to it in Article 5, Section 1A8 of the Texas Constitution in a continuing effort to promote confidence in and high standards for the judiciary, issued this 11th day of December 2024 by Gary Steele, Chairman of the State Commission on Judicial Conduct. Thank you.
Thank you.
This thing's too short. Howdy, I'm Reno Lamb. I'm a rancher and taxpayer and a Burnet County resident. You've seen me here for about a year. I'm joining the Groundwater Conservation District as a director tomorrow. I haven't spoken before, but I've been here for over a year watching and listening. I have a few things to say. Shouldn't be long. When Judge Oakley resigned, he cited a lack of civility in public discourse. Along with other concerned citizens, I've been attending the Commissioner's Court quite often for over a year, either in person or on the web. Thank you, Damon. At times, we have indeed observed a lack of civility in public discourse, as Mr. Oakley opines, but ironically, it is Mr. Oakley himself who often demonstrates this lack of civility when he disagrees with a speaker. He will usually refuse to even look at the speaker. He will look down and shuffle papers on his desk loudly. He interrupts us and arbitrarily changes the rules for public comments. In one case, he made a rule change such that you had to comment on an agenda item before it was discussed, just making the speaker look stupid in some sort of attempt to render public comments ineffective. Mr. Oakley even rudely belittled one speaker who's present, claiming that she did not pay taxes, but her husband is a disabled veteran with property tax relief. And I don't believe he apologized for that, even though Chief Trevino called for it. On the topic of civility in public, this same Mr. Oakley is the one who tromped around a lady's home in Austin in the middle of the night in the dark because he was upset that one of her employees had been performing his duty as a licensed public investigator. This is beyond incivility. It's criminal trespassing. If Mr. Oakley were to have run again in 2026, we were going to locate a video of that event and make it public for voters. We're happy to see Mr. Oakley resign, although we don't wish misfortune on anyone. We need to get this county back under control. Debt has grown substantially every year. Our sheriff is forced to run patrol cars well past their normal service life because Mr. Oakley instead earmarked nearly $1 million for electronic voting machines that are basically DVD players with Windows running on them. He also spent a lot of money on an expensive evergreen salary study, which miraculously resulted in large raises for the judge and many of his staff, up to 25%. My final word is that those commissioners who blindly allied themselves with James Oakley may find upcoming primary elections difficult. You had a duty to speak up, to protect the citizens of your precinct, to object to Mr. Oakley's machinations and wanton spending. The Baker-Tilly debacle comes to mind as Mr. Oakley carried out a useless vendetta against our own sheriff at the cost of over $20,000 to citizens. The complicit silence of those commissioners spoke volumes. Many of us have simply had enough, and what we want in this county now is a return to wholesome values, fiscal prudence, and honest communication with citizens. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Lynn. Is there anyone else?
Alan Trevino, Burnet County resident. Good morning. This past Friday, I filed my Form CTA appointment of a campaign treasurer by a candidate seeking the office of Burnet County Judge for the March 3rd, 2026 primary and November 2026 general election. Today, I'm officially announcing I'm running for Burnet County Judge, and furthermore, I will also submit my application to fill the remaining term to serve as the interim county judge. This is not how I intended my announcement of candidacy to come out. Heck, this was not my goal. As many of y'all are aware, I wanted to be your next sheriff once Sheriff Boyd was finished with his service. I hope to serve as sheriff one day, potentially, but more and more people asked me to consider running for county judge. The discussion became more frequent, and I had to stop and seriously consider where I could have the most impact on our community. Recent revelations forced me to change my strategy. Now is the time to step up, not step down. Now is the time to face the challenges and not turn an eye. This county desperately needs leadership that will work with integrity and transparency, leadership that will work to restore the greatness of Burnet County for the future, and leadership that will challenge myself and all the commissioners to work to repair the damage done. Everything I have been a part of, I have helped to make better. I am a leader. From being assigned as the assistant detail leader and eventually detail leader of the Governor's Protected Detail to serving as the president of the statewide Security Owners Association, I am a manager of people, a proven and effective manager of people. Public trust in this court has taken a significant blow. Working together, we can recover, we can move forward, we can turn the page from the black eye and embarrassment. I believe that I am not only the right person for this job, but I am the only person for this job. I have worked tirelessly for the employees of the Burnet County Sheriff's Office, and I will work tirelessly for all the employees of Burnet County. We will have open discussions and public workshops regarding department budgets. All members of the Commissioners Court will have a say and a hand in shaping the budget. Transparency will be paramount and fundamental, particularly with our meetings. We have to reduce our debt. We have to take care of our employees, all of our employees. We must be competitive with our wages and pay to retain our workforce and to help recruit for the future. I am going to work hard to be your next county judge, whether it be in the interim or in 2026. Let's not waste time. Let's move away from the distractions of the past 2 years, and let's get back to the business of Burnet County. Thank you.
Thank you. If there's no one else from Ms. Kaufman?
My name is Juanita Kaufman. I'm a taxpayer, I'm a voter, but most of all, as a lot of you know, yesterday was my 96th birthday. But more importantly, it was the greatest birthday present I could have ever received. I couldn't really believe it. I have watched our government go downhill over the years to where I don't think it could get any farther down. But what I am seeing here today is beginning to restore my faith. We still have one nation under God, and it's going to be an upcoming year starting down here. So thank you all. I love you all. And most of all, God bless America.
Thank you, and happy birthday. I do have one more thing during public comment that I'd like to present. This is for Billy Wall in the appreciation of his service. I'm going to sit down so I can read this plaque and go through it. With our greatest appreciation presented to Billy Wall, in recognition of your dedicated service, hard work, and exemplary leadership, thank you from Burnet County, 2017 to 2024.
Thank you all. I appreciate it.
Okay. We have one more.
If I may.
You may. We are still in public comment, sir.
Thank you. Russell Tudor, citizen and taxpayer of Burnet County. I just want to say I'm thankful for the good things that Judge Oakley has done for this county in the last decade. And he has. And there's no hard feelings. But yes, glad he's gone. Also, this microphone, I guess, might be used for public announcements once in a while. January 20th, in the AgriLife building, 6 o'clock. Let's celebrate the inauguration of our new president. And some new folks joining this table right here. One, change is good, if it's good change. We got a lot of work to do. I guess you guys know we're watching you, and we're praying for you. We are. That's all.
Thank you, Russell. Okay, anybody else? Thank you all. All right, let's see here. I've asked for a couple things to get moved. We do have a surveyor in the house, so I'm going to move to agenda item 19. discussion and or action regarding the final plat of the ranch on Lake LBJ Warehouse subdivision, a private subdivision consisting of 28 lots on 8.38 acres located off Paris Lane. Commissioner Luther and Herb.
Commissioner, a couple quarters back, we had a preliminary for this.
Yes, I do recall this one.
We got a lot of signature papers.
I've looked at it, I believe everything's in order, so I'd move for approval.
They're having a hard time. They don't understand what's going on.
Excuse me. Final plat consideration for the ranch at Lake LBJ Warehouse section. Sir? Herb Darling, Burnet County Development Services. I know most of you. Anyway, what we've got is 28 lots. They're warehouse lots for waterfront homes. If you buy a waterfront home in this subdivision, you can build a storage building, a metal building, a barn. They've met all the requirements.
Okay. Is there any? One second. I did get word. Is the judge's signature required on this?
You can sign in his name.
If it's got his name, your motion just needs to include.
I would make the motion for approval and for Commissioner Byerly to sign in place of Judge Oakley's position.
Okay. Motion and a second. Any further discussion?
I would make the motion of the final plat to be signed by Commissioner Byerly. And I move for approval.
Second.
Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Same sign. Motion passes. Thank you, Mr. Sherman. Thank you, Mr. Darling. Oh. Okay, we have one more request from our county clerk. We're going to open up agenda item number 11. Discussion and action regarding the acceptance of donated preservation services from CoFile in regard to a historic record in the Burnet County Clerk's office. And I think there's a representative from CoFile here.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am. Welcome.
Thank you so much for allowing me to speak on behalf of CoFile Technologies. As the court may or may not be aware, we performed an imaging project for the county clerk's office and have come to the conclusion of that project. And during imaging of these historical documents, we've discovered some documentation from the mid-1800s, which was very peculiar to us because this does involve the ownership of slavery. And I just want to make everybody aware of that right up front. But normally when people passed and their estate was handed down through probate, a description of land and ownership of slaves was given. And typically the description of the slaves were physical, how tall, any kind of scars, birthmarks, whatever. But we found within your historical documents the cell of a slave family. And what's really unique about these documents is they list their names. So for this family, the only trace of a historical document that documents their ancestors is in your books. So we took these two probate books and we wanted to preserve them, not only image them, but restore and preserve them for the next 500 years. So I do have a letter. I don't know if the court has this letter in front of them. And if the county clerk would allow me, I'll read this letter. Co-File Technologies is pleased to donate the restoration and preservation services of 2 probate volumes. Probate Volume A, which dates between 1854 to 1857, and Probate Volume 1856 to 1860. These volumes detail the unique transfer of property for the estate of Logan Vanderveer. During the archival imaging of these volumes, it was discovered that Logan Vanderveer owned a slave family. To the best of Co-File's research and knowledge, this is the only documentation of this family, and the only probate book that actually details the names of any slave individuals, and that's in the state of Texas. Typically of this time period, only descriptions of individuals, i.e. scars, birthmarks, etc., were provided. A professional display of these volumes will demonstrate Burnet County, their commitment to ensuring the integrity of its permanent retention and historical records for future generations. These volumes will serve as a reminder of the importance of maintaining public records. And it is signed by myself, and Co-File would like to donate this work to the county. So there are 2 volumes within this book, and we have rebound this book in the appropriate time frame bounding that you would have found in the 1800s. Each sheet of paper within each book had acid in it, and the gall ink of writing in these books also had acid in it. So basically, the acid was slowly eating away at the history of Burnet County. So we restored and preserved each page. We introduced a chemical that neutralizes the acid in the paper so it will stop deteriorating. And then each sleeve was each page was put in a Mylar sleeve, so we don't have to wear gloves or anything like that to protect the volumes. And then it was bound in this historical looking binder. And again, for the public, this is what these volumes look like. And I'll also make a note here for the county clerk what pages on these volumes denote the original ownership of the mother, the father, and the daughter, Louis, Jane, and Elsa. And then when the original owner passed away, that family was sold, and unfortunately what we find there is the family was broken up at the time. The daughter was sold to somebody else, and it's all documented here. And the mother and the father was passed on to the inheritance. So again, I'll notate that in this book as well.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you for the donation, and I think I need a motion to accept.
Move for approval. Second.
Just want to make sure the clerk caught that. You got it? All right. Motion and a second. Any more discussion on this? And we do appreciate it. The donation is appreciated.
It was a rare find.
All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? So moved. It's up to you. B wants to send the picture. Okay. Okay. We're going to start going down the agenda. Back up to item 4, discussion and action regarding the acceptance of a $1,000 donation from Rachel Bryson for the Stringtown Cemetery project. Is Miss Bryson here? Not that she has to be, we'll gladly accept, but I do need a motion to accept that donation.
Move for approval. Second.
Motion second. Any further discussion on this? Yes, sir? You have to come to the mic.
I've been involved in that. I've been involved in working with Ms. Bryson on that project. We've been out there now twice, a group of volunteers, including members of Bertram Volunteer Fire Department and other volunteers in the community from the Historical Society. And we'd appreciate if anybody else wants to come out and help us chop nasty thistles and poison oak and stuff like that. We're hoping to do it a little bit better next time so that we don't catch poison oak like a couple of us did. But it is out on next to the Hardin Ranch off of 1174 South. And it's quite interesting if you learn the history of it. So I'd encourage the public to get involved with the Burnet County Historical Society so y'all can help. We could use a hand.
Thank you, Reno. Okay. Item number 5, discussion. I'm sorry.
We had a motion and a second.
A motion and second. All those in favor to accept the donation, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? So moved. Thank you. Number 5, discussion and/or action regarding the reappointment of Barker Keith, Ned Ewert, and Bill Ide to the ESD 8 Board effective January 1st, 2025. This is an ESD in Precinct 2. These 3 have been wonderful members of the ESD, and I highly recommend the reappointment, and I move for the reappointment.
Second.
Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? So moved. Number 6, discussion and/or action regarding the reappointment of Londa Chandler and J. Don McAlpin to the ESD 6 Board effective January 1st, 2025. Commissioner Luther.
Both of these folks have worked tirelessly for ESD number 6, and I would move for approval. Second.
Motion and a second.
What?
Any discussion?
Both of these folks worked tirelessly for ESD number 6, and I would move for approval. Second.
Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? So moved. Number 7, discussion and/or action regarding the reappointment of Clayton Smith, Brenda Goebel, and Roy Hallmark to the ESD 7 Board effective January 1st, 2025. This is an ESD that Commissioner Luther and I share. And these folks have been on the board quite some time and done a good job.
I would move for approval. Second.
Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Number 8, discussion and/or action regarding the resolution amending authorized signers, text pool participant services.
Good morning. This is me.
Good morning. Okay.
This is just housekeeping items. As you're all aware, my current Chief Deputy, Deanne Fisher, will be taking the role as Burnet County Tax Assessor Collector beginning January 1. So this is removing her as an authorized representative from our investment account with Tax Pool and appointing my new Chief Deputy, Tori Kuhn, and myself, of course.
Okay.
I would move for approval. Everybody hear that? I'd move for approval.
I'll second it.
Motion and second. Any further discussion on the signers? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
I apologize. This is Carrie Crownover, your Burnet County Treasurer.
My apologies. Yes, Carrie Crownover, Burnet County Treasurer. Oh, sorry. There you go.
I voted right. Yes, ma'am.
Sure. With my office, Ms. Tori Kuhn is the new Chief Deputy. She came to work with us the first part of November.
Welcome. Did we vote? Okay. Sorry. Okay. And this can be me as commissioner? Okay. Okay. Here we go. Up next, once again, discussion and action regarding the approval of the monthly treasurer's report, November 2024. Ms. Crownover.
Okay, beginning cash and investments balance for November, we started with $61,628,659.59. We received $773,523.55. Interest earnings for November were $235,537.75. Our total disbursements were $6,051,697.75, leaving us with a month-ending cash and investments balance of $58,538,120.34. We received donations in November to vet rides for $1,386 and employee appreciation donations in the amount of $250.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Move for acceptance of the report.
Second.
Motion and second. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? So moved. Okay, number 10. Discussion and or action regarding the approval to renew liability insurance with the Texas Association of Counties Risk Management Pool. Coverage dates are 4/1/2020. There's just a line there. Should that be 4, I'm guessing, or 5?
I believe the renewal is 4/1 of '25 through 4/1 of '26.
Okay, 4/1/2025 through 4/1 of 2026. And you have some recommendations on this?
Yes, we would recommend that you increase your auto liability to $2 million worth of coverage and your general liability to $2 million worth of coverage. At this time, this is just the application. It will go through the underwriting process and then come back through. So at this time, I don't have pricing of what the increase would cost. But that's just a recommendation because we are a growing county, the number of employees, as well as we do operate a very large jail. So our liability can be considerable, and insurance is always, you want it when you need it.
Okay. So this is so that you can fill out the questionnaire with the changes, and then once we get a quote, it'll come back to court for approval.
Yes, the questionnaire is before you to look over, and those are just the only changes from the prior year of recommendations that we have.
Okay. Does this need to be signed or anything?
Yes, it will need to be signed.
Okay. Whoever makes the motion, please include the allowance of signature.
I'd move for approval and Commissioner Byerly to sign the document with the recommended changes of the auditor's office.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed? So moved. Excuse me. Okay. Okay, discussion and or action regarding the formation of an advisory committee to the Commissioners Court that will explore options and potential modifications to the county-wide holiday leave policy. Potential modifications and options will address the Burnet County employees, including those who fall under the policy category of full-time shift employees, departments that operate 24/7. Potential modifications and options may also address the issue of excessive buildup of holiday leave by full-time shift employees due to the staffing demands. Recommended committee members: Alan Trevino, Matt Kimbler, Auditor Karen Smith, HR Director Shirley Ballard, County Attorney Eddie Ardondo, and Commissioner Damon Byerly. Chief, did you want to speak?
This is the topic that we spoke about last session, or last Commissioners Court, and this is just the forming of a committee to identify the best step forward on getting this resolved, it's got to be, we've got to stop the bleeding. We've got to resolve something on how we do 24/7 employees, so that they either get paid up front and then it doesn't become a problem. Sure, that's a budget issue that would have to be approved, but stop the bleeding, and then the committee can determine how best to relieve the hours and discuss strategies, whether it's a payment, part payment. It doesn't have to be a 1-year fix. It can be a 2, 3, 4, 5-year fix. On year 1, you can't carry more than 200 hours. Year 2, you can't carry more than 150 hours. Year 3, 100 hours. But those are just some suggestions on encouraging employees to take their time down and manage it better. It's a hard thing to do in those 24/7 positions, and it's a unique position that only 24/7 employees have. And so I would encourage that this committee, with the suggestions there on who the committee members are, would be able to meet and discuss those openly with the auditor and with HR, so that we can come up with some solutions.
Okay. And I think we talked about last night, recognizing that the court doesn't have to, nor do we have the authority over some sheriff's office stuff. So we went countywide, and we just want buy-in, and we want all the brains at the table to make the best decision. Is that accurate?
That is correct.
Okay.
I would move approval of the formation of an advisory committee with the recommended members listed on the agenda.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any further discussion?
You're okay with those members, Chief?
Absolutely.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Thank you.
Thank you. Number 13, discussion or action regarding the temporary suspension by the Commissioners Court of the Burnet County Vacation Leave Carry Forward Policy for all county employees as applied to BCSO, Burnet County Sheriff's Office, communication officers, correction officers, and patrol officers due to staffing demands. Temporary suspension of this policy will allow said employees to carry forward any unused hours until 12/31/2025.
This has been done in previous years by order of the court. The same issue. They're building their holiday time and can't use it. They're also depending on how many years they have on with the county, they can either carry over 80 hours or carry over 120 hours, and we've got a significant amount of people that have more vacation time than they can burn by the end of the year. And so that was some of the requests to try to get it done back in November, so that we could, if it was not going to happen, that we could give them off. I mean, that's really the only relief valve that we would have been able to do. So this is just asking for that to be carried over until December 31st of 2026.
Move for approval.
Second.
Please clarify, does it apply to all county employees, or does it apply to just the listed county employees? Because the agenda item says all county employees, and then it lists certain county employees. Can you please clarify?
She's asking to clarify if this is all county employees.
That's a commissioner's decision. The attempt was to address all county employees, because it is going to be it's a county policy on relaxing or suspending that rule. But the list of personnel specifically were provided by me, that those would be those that I am from the sheriff's office requesting the suspension.
In the past, have we tweaked that for everyone or just the sheriff's office?
I would have to check, but I believe that it's just been for the sheriff's office, because I believe that's all that have been requested.
Previous orders that I've seen have only been the sheriff's office, and those are all on the county clerk's website, the previous orders on suspending the rule.
Great, okay. We have a motion and a second.
Move for approval of just the sheriff's office. What? Correction officers. Yeah, correction officers. The named ones in the agenda. So let's
Yes, the administrative people should not need to, we stay on them to burn their time. They are flexible, they can flex their time. And so this would be specifically for those that are 24/7, dispatch, corrections, and patrol.
So as Chief Trevino said, move for approval.
Second? Any further discussion?
Mr. Luther had the second.
Oh, he did? I'm sorry. Okay.
Second.
D, got it? Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you, Chief.
Thank you.
14, discussion and or action regarding the CSCD Statement of Financial Position FY 2024 per Local Government Code 140.004. What is CSCD? I know that's going to get asked. Community Supervision Corrections Division, Adult Probation. Thank you. Just want to make sure. It says, I don't know which department this is. Is this, one second. And we have the statement, though? Okay. Cool. Yes, ma'am. Okay. Any motions, discussion?
Move for approval.
Second with a question.
Yes, sir. Discussion?
What is the amount associated with that? Is there a?
Your total assets of the Community Service and Corrections Department is $1,448,119.52. They are primarily the state funded department.
Okay. So we had a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? So moved. We are going to have to go into executive session. I'm going to come back to that at the end without objection. Number 18, discussion and or action concerning hiring part-time, or that's not part of executive session, is it?
Well, that would be after.
Okay. Okay, 18 is going to come later. 20, discussion and or action regarding the burn ban for unincorporated areas of Burnet County. So we lifted it over the damp weekend. I can tell you the precinct 2 chiefs agree, and one's in the presence, to put it back on. Joe Don? Jim?
Derek here to speak on.
Oh, okay. Our emergency management coordinator?
Yes, Derek Marcio, Burnet County Emergency Management Coordinator. Also have a couple things for you.
We hadn't had a good slideshow from you in a while.
It's been. Operate paper here for a second. So one thing I did want to just kind of add to the discussion, of course, here I've got our Keach Byram drought index numbers. And just an idea on there on page 2. So our minimum is currently 547 with a maximum of 706. The average is 651, and those numbers there in parentheses are the increase that we've actually seen since last Thursday, which was the last time I put out these numbers to all of our first responders across the county and to you as well. So that scale, of course, as a reminder, goes from 0 to 800. The higher, the worse. So if our average is 651 currently, we're only about 150 points, 250 points off. Of course, even with the light rains that we saw last week, which were basically very, very minimal. Only saw maybe, I think, a ½ inch in some other areas, but most areas saw around about a ¼ inch or less. Moving on, of course, to the third slide, just kind of gives you the depiction of what those KBDI values look like, not just across the county, but across the state. As you can see, Central Texas is very dry. Now, one thing I would add to that, note that Blanco County Their values are a little lower than ours. However, they're probably in the process still today of mopping up a 150-acre wildland fire that occurred Tuesday afternoon. And that was due to a trailer that lost a tire, and the rim started sparking on the road surface and caused that fire. Next slide, page 4. That's going to be, of course, our current drought conditions according to the U.S. Drought Monitor. Basically split, not quite 50-50 between D1 and D2, which is moderate and severe drought. Current forecast that I saw for this is we may see some slight improvement on that over the next month. Fire conditions has kind of been the one saving grace that we've seen over the last 3 months. We've had some great humidity. Lowest we've seen is getting down to the 30% range, but only usually for a short time. But those humidities and these nice drizzly days that we've had have resulted in fire danger remaining kind of in that low to moderate range, with fuel dryness remaining in the normal to above normal ranges. It also has resulted in pretty much average energy release components for this time of year as well. An energy release component, just as a reminder, and for those who do not know, that is how much energy that is available for a fire to propagate. The next slide, and pulled these from the last couple of Texas A&M Forest Service Texas fire updates. Of course, we've had a couple freezing days here over the last couple weeks, and we're probably going to expect another one as we get into Saturday morning, as forecast temperatures are at 33 degrees, so we will see some areas that will have some freezing. Probably saw some of that this morning as well. I know I had ice on my windshield this morning. But freeze-cured grasses actually they introduce a new problem to the equation. So when we think during the summer, we're looking at relative humidities below 20% as kind of where we're really kind of getting on our toes. And it's also, if we have the wind conditions and temperatures, we'll see red flag warnings or fire danger statements from the National Weather Service. Freeze-cured grasses, we start looking at 30% range. So they have a lower threshold for being able to propagate fire. And that's compounded, of course, by the great summer rains that we had as we move on to the next slide on, page 5. Doesn't have the number down. Whoa, I'm sorry. It's going to be page 6. But that's going to show what we call dormant fire season herbaceous fuel loading. So if you can imagine, all the great rains that we've had and all the great growth that we've had has contributed to more fuel load across the county. And you can see we're pretty much in that normal to above normal range. The last bit here, of course, is our 90-day observed precipitation, and just kind of some of our 90-day precipitation statistics. Over the last 90 days, we've only seen really in that 1 to 2 and maybe 2 to 4 inch range across some very isolated portions of the county. And that's over the course of 3 months, only 1 to 2 inches. It's probably closer to that 1 to 1.5. Now, our departure from normal, and this is actually in inches, we're behind just over the last 90 days by, 8 to 5 inches? And then I think on the final slide there, that's going to be our 90-day percent of normal. So all that represents, over the last 90 days, we've only received about 10 to 25% of normal rainfall over the last 90 days. So we had a great summer, and then right there about the end of August, we dried up. Like I say, we've been blessed with some days of drizzly conditions, high humidities, and that's basically the only thing that's helping us at this point. We get 2 good days of wind and drying. They could change in an instant. Like I say, the fire down in Blanco County, I think, caught a lot of us off guard, especially with the size. Like I say, I know yesterday when I was in contact with with Commissioner Leisman down there, who's also their EMC. They were still working it with TFS, finishing up dozer lines from the previous day. So yeah, like I said, my recommendation really at this point is we do need a burn ban. It definitely wouldn't hurt if we start seeing some much better rains and get that KBDI down, get those drought conditions a little more relieved. we'd be in much better shape.
Thank you.
So I know what the average is on the KBDI. Do you happen to know what it is today?
It wouldn't be much of a
Commissioner
change.
Dockery?
It's been going up on average by about 1 point each day. I pulled these numbers yesterday afternoon, so.
It's immaterial, it's high. But
Yeah,
I was just
exactly.
curious what it was today. The issue we mainly have is we have good conditions in the morning when the dew is on the ground, and then that dries out, and then those fires are picked up by the wind in the afternoon, and that poses
Exactly.
a real issue. So anyway, I would move for the burn ban to be reinstated.
Second.
Motion and a second, to reinstate the burn ban. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? So moved. Commissioner Luther, when's that effective?
12 o'clock today. I need a 12 noon?
You still good,
I would add
second?
that.
Okay, effective at noon today. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Thank you. All right. Discussion and interaction regarding budget interdepartmental line item transfers. I bet that's here. Okay, we have just two today. Or one. Okay. Hold on one second.
Microphone.
Yeah. Say that again? I'll say it, I'll repeat it. Okay? Okay. So number 18, the one we're coming back, is one of these that we'll talk about in a minute, but the one that we'll be approving under this is security supplies, moving to machine and equipment for the jail. And it has Judge Oakley's signature, so a motion needs to include a signer.
I would move for approval with Commissioner Byerly signing in Judge Oakley's place.
I'll second that motion.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Okay. Thank you. 22, discussion and interaction for the authorization of payment of claims previously approved by the county auditor.
We have payroll claims in the amount of $1,517,364.73. We have accounts payable claims in the amount of $861,215.12. And we have prepaids in the amount of $7,442.46.
Okay.
Any questions?
Move for authorization of payment.
Does this, what signature does this require? All of us? Or?
Do we need to include in the motion signator?
Yes, usually the judge signs it.
Okay. I would amend my motion to include Commissioner Byerly to have authorization to sign.
Second.
Motion and second. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Oh, sorry.
Could you tell us what those claims were for, please?
Well, we can have a list available after court.
Okay.
Right? Yep.
There is a list in that file.
We have a list. It'll be available. Is that okay? Awesome. Thank you. Okay. Sorry. Number 23, discussion and interaction regarding department asset transfers. Do we have any? We have no action and no transfers today on 23. 24, acknowledgement of receipt. A is acceptance of reports of county officials as required by Local Government Code 115, previously examined by the county auditor. And today, it looks like we have AgriLife's October 2024 and AgriLife's November 2024 official report. Elections, November 2024. Environmental Services, 911 addressing, November of 2024. Justice of the Peace Precinct 1, November 2024. Justice of the Peace Precinct 2, November 2024. Justice of the Peace Precinct 3, November of 2024. Justice of the Peace Precinct 4, November of, and Tax Assessor Collector of November 2024. So we are, no action on this. We're just, she accepted them, and we're
I do have a
acknowledging.
public comment on
Okay.
24A. Claire Nybro, once again, I will renew my opinion that those reports, because they are made by county officials, they should be made available to the public. And I'm just renewing my opinion that those should be made available with the necessary redactions. So I'd like to see some transparency on that going forward. Thank you very much.
Okay. And after the redactions are made, are those made available? They will be available in our minutes, redacted and ready for review. Is that what you wanted?
Well, I'd like to see them attached to the agenda, if that's possible, before the meeting.
We'll find that out.
Thank you.
Today it'll be in the minutes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, and B is a TCEQ notice renewal permit, and it's highlighted. Let me find out why. It doesn't require a signature. It's, again, no need to approve it, but I think just because TCEQ is on everybody's brain lately. This appears to be, and Commissioner Docker, Luther, I might ask you, it seems to be the city of Granite Shoals. The facility, it is for Aquatech, oh, it might not be, hold on. Aqua Texas is the applicant. They've applied to the Texas Commission on Environmental Quality for a renewal of Texas Pollutant Discharge Elimination System permit number WQ0011332001, which authorizes the discharge of treated domestic wastewater at a daily average flow not to exceed 50,000 gallons per day. They received the application June 14th, 2024, and the facility is located in Granite Shoals. So, again, we're just acknowledging that they sent it to us. Okay. 25, discussion and or action regarding contracts, agreements, or grants to be approved and or ratified. A, approval to apply for the Talker Foundation Newspapers Digitation Grant for the Herman Brown Free Library. Applications open January 1st, 2025. Florence is here. We'll stop on A and let you speak on it.
All right, thank you. Florence Reeves, I'm the director of the Herman Brown Free Library, and I am so excited to come here today to ask for permission to apply for this grant. Digitizing our historic newspapers that are currently on microfilm is something I've wanted to see done for a long time. And we have an opportunity to apply for this grant through the Talker Foundation, which is a private foundation. They're partnering with the University of North Texas and the Portal of Texas History to digitize these historic newspapers and make them more widely available through the Portal of Texas. And here's the great thing. There's no matching requirement, no formal final reporting. University of North Texas does all the legwork and even pays for the shipping for us to get the microfilm to them. They're that eager to preserve Texas history and make it available publicly on the portal. So I'm hoping that you will give approval for us to proceed with the application.
Okay, I think we'll tackle these one at a time. This grant, what signature does it require? Okay. Okay, so the motion will need to include a signature.
What years do those include from? What years do those include?
Well, our
from when to when?
oldest papers are very early with the Burnet Bulletin, mid-1870s, 1874. And so we have a lot of our very early history stored in those papers that we're excited to make it available.
That's great. I would move for approval to apply for the Tucker Foundation newspaper digitization grant for the Herman Brown Free Library. And Commissioner Biley to sign the document.
Second.
Motion and second. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Okay. 24A is approved, or 25A, thank you. Okay, and 25B is approval and agreement with Bopay vendor.
We'd like to request that that be moved to the next agenda.
And by then, I'll learn how to say this. I can't say, you know how to say that name, Joe?
Good luck.
Anyway, we're going to hold on it for the next time. I think Karen found something in there that she wants to get. It's a DocuSign that we can't get a physical copy of. So until we get that, we're not going to take action on that. Is that right?
That's correct.
Okay, so we'll hold that one. 25C, agreement with Johnson Controls for troubleshooting the courthouse fire system. Who's that with?
It's with Johnson Controls. This is a request for maintenance. The total amount is $1,512.
And it's budgeted?
It is budgeted under the maintenance budget.
And who's the signer on it?
You will have to name a signer.
We'll do a signer. Okay.
Is that for maintenance, or is there an issue and been an issue? Do we know?
I cannot say. It's a request that's come from our maintenance department to have Johnson Controls troubleshoot. So I'm assuming there are some problems with the fire system. Because we are under contract for routine maintenance on the fire control system.
Move for approval and give the authority to Commissioner Byerly to sign this.
I'll second that motion.
Motion and second. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Okay. 25D, approval to accept the replacement of outdated core switches project for FY25 state and local cybersecurity grant program known as the SLCGP mitigation projects FY 2025. Karen.
This is a grant that we applied for to replace core switches and all the switches across our network. It's very much needed. The total amount of the project will be $222,826.07. The grant will pay $200,543.46. The match is $22,282.61, and it was budgeted.
It is a budgeted item?
Yes, sir.
Jackie, do you have anything on this? You don't have to have anything. I'm just curious.
She covered it. It's going to fix the issues that we've been having with our network and our
Can you come up and explain a little bit about what that will fix? The switches have been an issue for a while.
Thanks, Jim.
Yeah, we're really excited about this grant. The county has needed to have some network issues fixed for a long time. It's going to completely rebuild and replace our existing network. It's going to help with security, functionality. We're going to be able to leave one building and go to another and still have a signal, public Wi-Fi access, things that we've needed for a long time. It's exciting.
And who are you?
I'm Jackie Haynes, IT
Thank you.
department.
Okay. Any other questions?
I'd move for approval
Yay.
with Commissioner Biley signing the document.
If I might request, since this is coming through the e-grant system, Yvonne is currently the signer on grants.
I would move for approval with Commissioner Dockery signing the document.
That's how long this has been going on.
Yeah.
Yes, a very long time.
Okay.
This is the one we were any minute, and it happened.
Any minute, and we're at that minute.
Yep.
Great. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Okay. 26, discussion or action concerning calling for bids, bid openings, requests for proposals, qualifications, and related openings. We have anything?
Good morning, Commissioners. Megan Schuman, Auditor's Office. So we currently have the paving wash truck bid out. That is going to be due January the 15th at 2 p.m. We did have the Joppa Bridge RFP due yesterday. Unfortunately, we didn't have any submittals, so we will need to see the next steps, what to do, how to get that completed.
Okay.
And that is it.
Alrighty. Just an update. Thank you for that, Megan. Okay, we can knock out calendar review, and then we're going to go back to executive session. Does anybody have anything coming up?
I'm Tammy Hullum. I am the chairman for the Burnet County Republican Party, and this is Cannon. And just needed to invite everybody coming out January 1st at 9 o'clock in this courthouse room. We will be swearing in our new officials, and the public is invited to attend. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. And our next Commissioners Court will be Friday, January the 3rd. Anything else, guys? Anybody else?
9 or 10?
We'll do it at 9 a.m. in this courtroom. Yeah. I'm quite certain they're not going to have court that day. Yeah, there's no court. Okay, so it'll be up here at 9 a.m., regular scheduled on January the 3rd. Okay. It'll be deemed a special session because it's out of rotation. Our next regularly scheduled meeting will be on January 14th, 9 a.m. in this courtroom. Let's see. Anything else, guys? Okay. No. Thank you.
If y'all remember, our office contacted Texas Attorney General's office. We're going to set up training on the 10th here on public records.
Okay, so the AG's office from the state of Texas is going to come here at the request and do open meetings training on open records on January the 10th.
Correct.
Do we have a time? 10 a.m.
Right, and if members of the court are going to be there, probably a good idea to call it a workshop. And
We can do that on the 3rd? Okay. And then once we, and then we'll invite the public. That'll be great.
What was the date and time again?
January 10th, we believe at 9 a.m. 10 a.m. Stay tuned to our website and our social media for updates. And at the next meeting, we'll have it firm so that way we can make it a public, if we need to make it a public hearing so that we can all attend. Is that good? Okay. We're going to go back. Our final stuff today is executive session. We do need to go into executive session. Do I need to read this now?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Number 1, executive session, discussion with the Burnet County Commissioners Court and the county civil attorneys and/or the county attorney in accordance with Texas Government Codes 551.071. The Commissioners Court reserves the right to adjourn into executive session at any time during the course of this meeting to discuss any matters as authorized by the Texas Government Code, including but not limited to sections 551/071, consultation with attorney, deliberations about real property, deliberations about gifts and donations, personnel matters, deliberations about security devices, economic development, and deliberations about homeland security issues. Today on the agenda for executive session, we have A, consultation with Burnet County Attorney and/or attorneys representing Burnet County, Simon Greenstone Panettiere, an opioid litigation suit titled as County of Burnet versus Purdue.
No, you're reading off the wrong agenda or something. That's what's on there. No, it says personnel matters.
Yeah, that's what I saw.
Don't know what you're reading off of.
It says Thursday, December 19th. So where's it at?
Oh, that's a sign-in sheet.
Your regular agenda? Right here, it's just this. They'll have to get you a new one of those.
Okay, who's they?
Stephanie.
Okay.
I know, we'll get you one before you go in, but this is what
Okay.
the agenda item says.
I'm sorry. Grace is appreciated. So A, personnel matters is why we're going into executive session. And we'll wait on one of these, I guess, to go in.
And who do you request in executive session?
So for this executive session, the Commissioners Court members, all four commissioners, the county attorney, Eddie Ardondo, and the first assistant county attorney, Colleen Davis, our county auditor, Karen Smith. Nope. B says no. Okay? So are you working on this? Or it's in the motion. It's in the works. Okay. We can go in now, just wait for the paper? Okay. We need it at the end. Perfect. Thank you. Okay, so at 10:23, we're going to go into executive session. We'll come right back out and reconvene and wrap up our normal session. Do I need to keep recording going? Stop.
Thank you for your comments. Oh, you're welcome. Appreciate it.
No, we can give it to you. We can email it to you or Debbie and our department over there. Yes, that's fine. Okay, I just wanted to get with you, make sure that we.
just.
Dakota and Suzanne on that
There's also a license fee attached. So we don't even know how far.
I know, right? It's like,
Could be.
we got lots of changes happening, but they're all being thought of. Yeah, Chad's coming in.
So that means we're on $3 million. Chief has said several times since I've been on this, if we need to slow the profile,
County clerk's office, that's where you might have it's really only for regular and county judges fall under their purview as well. Yeah, it's really that, and then the commissioners don't. Oddly enough, the commissioners aren't held to the same judicial.
a stolen election in Austin, and we're over crazy. It's useless for the rabbit brain kid
That's when they're gonna figure out who's gonna run the board.
elections.
That's what
They're giving them a $20,000 raise, like we can.
So I think it's highly influential.
Elections.
Presiding.
And so he came out and said, oh, yeah.
I think because the optics of the two of them with their
I know that, like I said. He recommended that. Why would you reinforce crime? I'm just saying, you know, I was in.
I don't know.
Movie business.
I really
There
don't
is
think
people
I'm
I know that
he
just
stepped right in.
they saw me. So, you know,
Just let them know I'm fine.
I got his
Take it from here. Wasn't planning on it, but the timing is such that he's really in recent months, he has been dealing with these
he held up a piece of paper, he wanted to pay out
you have to give him credit for what he's done because the whole has just
So he's and I literally, you know, Oakley,
I mean, isn't it nice to have a reasonable person running the meeting instead of
yes, he's in courthouse, where he hired her for $48,000. Right, so, but what I'm saying is, that's the problem. You can't be head of HR and she helped Oakley terrorize, right? And this is the head
it's
HR.
only the diehards that stay.
So, and I think what's our liability? I think she has grounds for a really spectacular lawsuit, right? Well, he should be. You know, Sonny McAfee, I was on his team, which I used to run the Tea Party, so I know all these things, you know, Tea Party and ran. George Russell was far away. Of course, I voted for a year.
official recommendation saying you cannot allow this several years ago, and now the auditor is disgraceful and agrees that he cannot lose a stand and really should. He actually
My dad was all about. So yeah, I love this and they were nasty about it, you know.
What an exciting,
Listen, I'm gonna tell you something.
Oh, they need to be busted out.
I love doing things like that. These are as close to the job of our
It's just like a model tool of that's exciting.
This is, we're definitely like this dark age here. Claire was a riot. I used to go.
Yeah, I'd like to complain about the
Yay, I'm not kidding. Lots of great Christmas.
But what I'm getting at is
Thanks for all your hard work. Only the diehards are less, y'all.
That's us. The Permanent Urban and Oversight Committee.
you also get money to your retirement every year. And you get so when you add all those dollars up, so what I do is I look at the office, I look at the dollar amount. Like I look at sort of 5 years or whatever. Dollar. And 23, the same as I have right now. It was around $20,000 just for that. Okay, so you see how the corruption works. So everybody thinks they only got 6% pay rate. Longevity pay puts them up to $100, so that maybe if they say $1,000 or $2,000 a year. And that includes them too, right? So that's how he worked, the deal.
Just wait for the library. That's right, it's the tax. And they act like it's free.
No, I mean, that's the way it is, but I'm just telling you, so I get it when I'm saying, I agree with you. But I agree with you, we gotta get rid of doctors, we gotta get rid of those. And it would have been nice to stand up and call them out on their dirty deal, because they were all in for it. I mean, Dockery lived the day that he did that. People have document, they had that document with Oakley is money for his welfare money. You know, we were gonna, no, they gave him the back pay, these assholes gave him the back pay. I'm talking about $130,000 for his attorneys. Oh, for his attorney,
That he chose.
that he chose. We don't have, well, not only that, we don't have any, why would we don't have any obligation to, well, we don't have that. We do not have an obligation to protect him for illegal behavior that he does on the outside, right? I mean, if you're a soldier and there's a uniform code right here to justice, you shoot somebody outside the base and you get on your base, the Air Force has no tried to. I know you boys are here all Kyle's group. Like I said, I got involved, I retired. I love this place. This is a great place. And Oakley's stuck in it. Donna Flavor was a great place. They had some pretty good conditions back then. I mean, these guys got Oakley, Luther, and Joe Donna, and they worked together to enrich themselves, do dirty deals. Hey, I got this for you. They ignored it. They knew what Oakley was doing to Joe. They knew what they were doing to Lisa, what he was doing. They ignored it. And Luther was married to that gal. His wife was head of HR, which is unreal. I'm just saying, and they need to get out of it as far as the rebels are. Yeah, and making $138,000 after what she did here, which I guarantee you, it's illegal. It seems like it was at least unethical, and she worked for us. And here's the real one. And I said this to you earlier. I'm saying Lisa White has grounds for a very spectacular lawsuit because you can't have head HR helping terrorize her. And I stood up in this court. Joe John says, "Well, I don't know about that." I said, "Okay." Right, well, you know now, partner. So you better do something. You know what they did? Nothing. Because Oakley is their point. So, I mean, they're calling. And believe me, I'll testify to them. And you know what? The Burnet County, the insurance company is going to, they're going to, I'll just say that the CEO is going to be constipated when he finds out what these guys did. You know? And what they're liable to do is use a couple of them. They'll sue the crap out of these guys. Because you're only protected so you're not protected from the HR where the judge is. And I talked to her. She was okay, I'm not scared. We talked about it. And then she said, I don't know about you boys, but some of your wife, and just the nasty ass comments, that's harassment. And we all know it. Well, hopefully he's going to pay for it. So what are good? All right. I'll see you boys again.
How are you doing? They got ourselves a restaurant today. We need to aspire goals for 2025.
Well, you know, the good news is 1 out of 3 is gone. Joe Dow and Luther. Yeah, I think the Chiefs can be. Because, you know, we've been watching the Chiefs for what? And every time he comes up, he looks like he's got ducks in order. These are as we all know, sit there with your heads down and basically throw. Well, and they would throw every time. Hell, he was arguing he wants one. You would listen to me. 12 of these papers. Of course, what we all said, we don't need to. And so they go to court anyway. That Well, it's a new era as far as openness of mind goes and transparency. And those that don't want to go with it, they're going to have to pay a price. You know what's going to happen, the liability side was going, but I would bet you $10. Lisa White had because these assholes, you know they know, but you heard me stand up. I think that's probably not it. There's a low background, that's a natural set of values. Based upon that, it'll give us hope. So that's the best we can do in reality as far as saying what's going to replace it. Yeah. That'll change the environment as far as our enforcement capabilities go here in the county. I hope they put a vengeful deputy over there just on the street from his house. Every time he hesitates to stop at the stop sign, boing! Now, you know, if I see you one more time, we're going to take you in. Monitor on ankle monitor. Put an ankle monitor around his neck. Well, pretty much. Keep going.
Where's my walkout?
Okay. Sounds good.
I wonder if we're still online.
You're still live.
We are? All right.
Oh.
Okay. We'll wait a second.
I can play that one back. Others can get one back. You have to plug it in here. It doesn't mean it's playing back as a speaker. Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's a good question. We approve payroll, you can sign that. Done, done, done. We're waiting on Commissioner Wall and we'll get started again. We got Eddie, we got Karen, we got V. All right. I'm going to open, hold on. Okay, we're going to open back up in a regular session at 10:48 to finish out after executive session. Okay. Number 18.
17.
Oh, 17, discussion or action regarding items discussed in executive session. Okay.
Speaking to the commissioners and the public, I'm hitting here at the end of this month 20 years of service as the county attorney for this county. In those 20 years, I have not always represented the Commissioners Court in Commissioners Court meetings and in advising them. First of all, the Texas Constitution, it does not require a county attorney to provide that function, okay? There are times when I have done it, and then there's been times that I have not done it. When I did do it in the past, there's times where I've actually got contracted with the county and signed a contract and was paid in addition to anything I received. And then there was times when somebody else filled that position and did that. I don't know if you all remember Mr. Leslie Vance. He was an outstanding man. Really grew to respect him and love him very much. He's passed on. And then since Mr. Vance left, I kind of came back into working with the Commissioners Court and doing that. And at least I'm going to say 8 years that I've been doing that. And I haven't gotten any compensation at all. And that's fine with me. But now we're a growing county, and there's been a lot of things coming our way. And I'm finding myself more and more pulled away from the constitutional duties that I do have as county attorney and spending an exorbitant amount of time working with the Commissioners Court. And something's going to have to give. The idea is, and the thought is that instead of the county attorney's office providing you the legal advice, is to still assist from the background, but let a general counsel work under the Commissioners Court, independent from my office, to talk to y'all and to represent you guys with legal advice on things that come before the Commissioners Court. And again, if asked to assist, we're there, but not be the lead on this. And I do believe it's best that it be an independent person that's not attached to me. The public has a lot of frustration about how things occur in meetings sometimes, and there's been a lot of talk about trying to get a parliamentarian in place, somebody that can look at things and make calls, balls and strikes, those kinds of things. It's very difficult for a person that's in an elected position to be able to do that. And I think that having this independent general counsel can aid in that. They can make their calls, and they're not an elected official. So that's the idea that I bring to you, the thought that it's time to make that kind of a change again. And in that, there was a lot of thought put into who that person could be. Of course, you have every right to hire anyone you wish to please, and this would be more like a part-time position for this individual. But we're lucky enough that there was a gentleman that was once the first assistant in Travis County under David Escamilla that has property in this county and has a home in this county, and he's in more of the retirement type situation, and he's more than willing to give some service to the public, because that's, you're a public servant, that's who you are. And he wishes to do that. And his name is Randy Levitt. He's a very accomplished attorney, a very intelligent man. And again, has the right credentials that can serve y'all very well. And if he doesn't know the answer, he knows all the connections as to who he can talk to. And the thought in the proposal is that he start stepping into this role and working with y'all. And instead, I might take a seat here with the public, or just like any other county elected official, to watch meetings and be there if needed, but assist from behind. Mr. Levitt isn't here today for a very interesting reason, and that's because he's from a little town, and his town is in a state football finals. And so, you know, that's a unique honor that he just couldn't pass up. But otherwise, I'd have him here to introduce himself to you and the public, and let him know, or let y'all know what he's about. And what he wants to do is oversee things and try to help improve relationships with the public, and so that we can get more productive and move down the road. So, you know, with that in mind, you know, it does cost money. It's not like that's free either, but because he's more on the retirement side, it's not a overwhelming dollar amount as what you would normally expect from somebody of this kind of caliber. I would normally be thinking that such a person would be charging well over probably $150 a year. This situation is unique. Again, he's got a place out here and he wants to do this, and I believe what he's more along the lines of, I think, $40,000, I think, for the rest of this year. So that is the proposal, and that's what the thought is, and
For the rest of this fiscal year.
For the rest of this fiscal year, and then see how it goes. It's not like you're married to the idea. You may like it. You can decide, no, this is not the right person. You can say, we want somebody else, or you can say, no, we don't want to do it that way, and come up with a different plan. His idea is to help, not to get locked into some contract and say, here I am, you know, for the next 10 years or something. I mean, we want it to be productive and help efficiency.
Okay. I don't want to cut you off. Are you good?
Yes, sir.
I think what I'm going to do, since we have 2 agenda items, the general idea of this position and what we're headed and who that person's going to, what that job's going to be, we can discuss that under 17. If we want to get into the details and the public has questions on him specifically, I think that can be when we open 18. So I think for right now, based on his statements, are there any questions or comments just based on the idea of this new position? Does that sound fair? Does that make sense? And then we can get into the who on 18, I guess.
So he used to be a Travis County attorney, district attorney? Okay. And how many years did he do that?
Colleen Davis, first assistant county attorney, my recollection is it was around 6 years, but I will have to confirm that with him.
Okay. And so the scope of his duties would apply only to Commissioners Court, correct? And advising them on proper procedure, all kinds of stuff. Would he be able to help them with the Open Meetings Act as well?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Precisely.
Okay. Thank you.
So my question just has to do with the budget. We found $43,000 somewhere.
In professional services.
Was that money that was for the construction? So there's money in plenty of money there?
We do have enough money in professional services to
Okay,
cover
as a first assistant in Travis, is that criminal? It's obviously it's civil, but was he civil? Okay. So he would advise on parliamentarian procedure?
Part of it, open records, open meetings, can consult with the commissioners on issues that are coming, contracts and things.
Okay. Would we relieve Karen of some of the PIR burden by shuffling it to this?
Not necessarily.
Okay.
But he's there to assist. I'll still be there to assist.
Okay.
Want to become more efficient. Want him to be independent so that he can make calls the way he sees it without it saying, well, this is what Eddie has to say that it's going to be.
Sure.
I think that would serve everybody the best.
Will he function as more of a buffer between the public and the court, or will we still maintain what will going forward be much more civil and polite exchanges as long as rules of law are being followed? Will there be a change in the dynamic between the public and the court?
I mean, if you ask, I would say no change in dynamic. However, my opinion and what I see happening is that some of these questions that get brought up that tend to remain in a gray area, we'll be able to say to this gentleman, in the moment he can answer it or do research, whatever he chooses, right? He can say, well, I'm going to take that back and come back to you. So we can start putting some black and white and some periods on these questions where there's questions on procedures, what the statute says, things like that. And I think that would take the weight off of, as Eddie Ardondo said, having an elected official do that can be tough. And so he's done a great job. And again, I want to reiterate, constitutionally, he's not required to represent the Commissioner's Court. He has and done a great job, and we appreciate that. So this is a move, and from what I understand, the budgeted amount is a huge discount to what an attorney of this caliber would cost us, being a resident, like Eddie said. And so, and this is an at-will thing. So my opinion is that if we hire somebody to do this, number one, I'm in favor of that. And number two, for this gentleman in particular, he's going to come in. I did have a conversation with him, and he said that he's going to come in and observe. He's going to get to know us. He's going to get to know you. He's going to get to know some of the hot topics that are at the top of the list. And then he's going to come and he'll handle things as they come. And so talking to him, I know it sounds funny to some, but Stanford, Texas is where he's from. A little bitty 2A school, made the state playoffs in Dallas, and he went, and I don't blame him. So, but he will make himself available. He told me that, and I had a good conversation with him. I look forward to that and having that to lean on, as basically requested by a lot of the public and from us too. We would like that too.
So he has a skill set that includes solid mediation, kind of.
I believe he is very level-headed, calm demeanor type of individual that I believe would serve the public and the Commissioner's Court.
Well, as a taxpayer, voter, interested person, I want to commend all of y'all for coming up with a solution. We need 1% improvement every time we can, so thank you.
And the other thing I would say, based on what some of your last questions there, he did admit, he's done all kinds of law, but he has a lot of resources. So he's not afraid. If he doesn't know, he's going to tell you that. He's going to go find the people that do know and have the resources to get the right answer, and something we can, again, like I said, put a period on, set it, and move on.
Good. I actually think this is a good idea. And since we are getting an open records meeting workshop from the Attorney General, perhaps one of his first duties, should you decide you vote today to do this, I personally think it's a good idea. I'm wondering if he could hold an open meetings workshop for us as one of his first duties, if he could consider that, so that the public could be invited to that as well. That would be wonderful. I'd appreciate that very much. Thank you.
Okay. I feel, is there anybody else on 17? I'm going to open 18 if there's no other questions on the general idea of what we're trying to accomplish here. Okay. No action on 17. 18, discussion and interaction concerning hiring part-time general counsel to advise the Commissioners Court on civil and procedural matters and necessary budget amendments to accommodate said hiring. We've got into this a little bit with the questioning, which is fine. The other line item transfer that we mentioned earlier has to do with this. If we take action, the line item transfer would go from professional services, or it would just be from professional services to part-time salary. And he is willing to work on a $4,000 per month contract to represent the court. And we have the money in professional services. We can make that transfer today if we make that decision to hire Mr. Levitt. And he would begin in January. Is that?
That's correct.
accurate?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So as soon as Stanford wins the playoff, he's ready to get started. Any other questions specific to that? And if you do, come to the mic, please.
Sherry Palmer. Have you talked to the other counties about how they handle? I mean, there's plenty of this kind of thing that goes on. I've been in this kind of position before. And I think moving more slowly could be recommended. Gather some more information. This has come up fairly quickly, and it's pretty obvious from this courtroom that we have people that are becoming much more knowledgeable about rules and regulations. You know, I had to know it before I took my job. Y'all really were supposed to know it before you took your oath. What is involved in open meetings, records, and the meetings? So that's my input is I would check with a lot of other counties, because defining the job before you apply the person is the way it needs to be done.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks. No, I think you're correct in that. And I know that talking to other counties, as they grow, taking the weight off the county attorney for advice happens in most counties our size and larger. We're a little behind the curve on having that advice. I appreciate the fact that we should know a lot of what we're supposed to do before we take the oath, and I agree with that, and I feel that we do. But legal advice is always good, especially when you get in the semantics of it. And so obviously we always ask for grace there, and so that way we can address the right person for the job. So thank you for that.
I heard part-time, I heard salary, and then I heard contract. Is this a new employed person, or is it a new subcontract?
It is considered a part-time employee with a salary to fulfill the duties that we're asking them to do, which is represent us.
Okay, and is there a limit to the maximum time he'll provide to the county for the 4,000?
I believe it's 20 hours a week.
A week?
Or, I'm sorry, a month.
I was going to say, that's a deal. I'll take that, yeah.
My apologies.
Okay, no, okay, all right.
20 hours in a month.
All right, thank you.
And again, at will. And so as we go along, if I don't, we're not signing a 10-year deal here. So, but I want to know the court's comfort level at this moment, what you guys want to do. And you'll have to grab a mic again. Oh, we do. Yes, sir. Please state your name.
Mike Kamala. I need some help here to understand county attorney and his staff. Where does it state in the Constitution that you can't help these guys or not legally?
No, it doesn't say that we can't help them. It's just not a legal requirement that you shall.
Not a legal requirement. How many people you have on your staff?
4 attorneys with myself, 5, and 5 staff members.
And your yearly budget?
Sir, I'd have to look to tell you that.
It is hard for me to understand.
The vast majority of it.
It's hard for me to understand if you have a county attorney and you can't assist these guys here. This German instinct can't understand that.
Guys, you got anything?
It's my guess that from this point forward that this court will be much more cognizant and desiring to work with the citizens of the county and not need situations so badly. How to make that happen. And as it was pointed out, we're probably paying a pretty good chunk of money already for something that is provided without spending more money. Maybe.
Okay.
This is not an unprecedented step. This court has had outside counsel before when Mr. Vance was here, so.
As a court security deputy, I'm Amy Wilkie with Court Security. These guys bring 40 or 50 cases, criminal cases, and that's where they're tied up. Like every 2 or 3 days, this courtroom is packed. So I think that's where their resources go and where their time goes.
And I think that's why constitutionally they're not required to represent us as a commissioner's court. And so adding that duty, and we've done it with no additional fees to Mr. Redondo for a very long time. So I get that it's, we have an attorney here, he can do it, but to Ms. Wilkie's point, their plate's full, our county's growing, and with the amount of questions we get from you guys, it'll get faster answers, it'll get solid answers, and that way he can focus on his constitutional duties. So hopefully that helps. So we have an action item today, if we so choose, guys, gentlemen. Any more discussion or motions?
I would make a motion to hire part-time general counsel to advise the Commissioners Court on civil and procedural matters and the necessary budget requirement to accommodate this hiring, and the gentleman to be hired by the name of Randy Levitt.
And a signature.
And to provide Commissioner Byerly's signature authority on the contract for the, well, I guess it wouldn't be a contract if he's part.
The transfer.
Oh, for the transfer, yes, okay.
For the amendment.
Yeah, for the budget amendment.
Mm-hmm. There's a motion.
Second.
Okay, motion and a second. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed?
I want to abstain.
Please note for the record that Commissioner Wall abstained. Motion passes. Okay. Is there anything that I missed? Okay. Once again, I want to say thank you, Commissioner Wall, for your service to Burnet County.
Thank you.
Thank you, Julie. Thank you.
And Merry Christmas to you all, and to all a good afternoon. We are adjourned. Okay, yes, sir.
Right, Awesome.